sustainability and green energy, Viking heritage, welfare system, new Nordic food. Welcome to Denmark Explained, where we explore the rich tapestry of Danish culture, one captivating story at a time. Denmark is often praised as a beacon of happiness, a place where welfare and wealth blend seamlessly into a society designed to support its people. International rankings consistently place Denmark among the world's happiest nations, and for good reason. The country boasts a strong welfare system, free healthcare, and a work-life balance that many can only dream of. But behind the polished image of cozy cafes, cycling-friendly streets, and a robust welfare state lies an undeniable truth. Denmark is one of the most expensive countries in the world to live in. For those drawn by the promise of a better quality of life, the reality can be sobering. But before we continue, please support the channel by pressing the like button, share and hit subscribe. Thank you. The cost of accommodation is crushing, particularly in Copenhagen, where the dream of securing a decently priced home is often replaced by the stark reality of bidding wars, wait lists stretching years, and landlords demanding sky-high deposits. A single room in a shared apartment can cost upwards of 5,000 DKK per month, while a modest two-bedroom flat may easily surpass 15,000 DKK. Outside the capital, prices are slightly more forgiving, but the burden remains. Then there are the necessities. Electricity, water, heating, these aren't mere afterthoughts but significant financial concerns, particularly during Denmark's long dark winters. Heating bills skyrocket, and even a modest grocery trip can leave you wondering how a few essentials could add up so quickly. A meal at a mid-range restaurant? Expect to pay at least 150 DKK per person. Even a simple cup of coffee can cost around 40 DKK. Public transportation, while efficient, is another major expense, with monthly passes in Copenhagen exceeding 800 DKK. Despite these financial strains, Denmark counters its high cost of living with generous social benefits. Healthcare is free, tuition fees are non-existent for EU students, and Social Security provides a safety net that many in other countries can only dream of. Salaries too are high, and workers enjoy strong protections, but here's the trade-off. These benefits come at a cost. One of the highest tax rates in the world. Income tax can swallow up to 55% of earnings, and VAT on goods and services sits at a staggering 25%. The state gives, but it also takes. The Danish welfare state is often described as one of the most generous in the world. It covers everything from education and healthcare to extensive parental leave and unemployment benefits. However, the weight of these benefits is carried by the very people who are meant to enjoy them. A high salary in Denmark does not necessarily translate into a comfortable life, as much of it is reclaimed by taxes and everyday expenses. Take, for example, a young professional earning 45,000 Danish kroner per month before taxes. After income tax, labor market contributions, and other deductions, their take-home pay may be closer to 28,000 kroner. From that, they must pay rent, perhaps 12,000 kroner for a modest apartment, utilities around 2,000 kroner, groceries 3,000 to 4,000 kroner, transportation 800 to 1,500 kroner, and other expenses. What remains? Often, just enough to live comfortably but not extravagantly. The idea of saving for a home, travel, or even an emergency fund can seem elusive. Even for those who consider themselves financially stable, life in Denmark can feel like an endless balancing act. Dining out is often a luxury rather than a casual experience, as a simple meal can cost as much as a day's worth of groceries. Cars, too, are heavily taxed, making ownership a significant expense that many opt to forego in favor of cycling or public transport. But even a frugal lifestyle comes with its own set of challenges. Grocery shopping requires careful planning, as fresh produce, meat, and dairy products are all priced at a premium. Imported goods carry even higher price tags due to Denmark's strict import taxes. Alcohol and tobacco, heavily taxed to discourage consumption, come at a steep price. A night out in Copenhagen can easily drain several hundred kroner from your wallet, making nightlife an occasional indulgence rather than a regular pastime for many. While the cost of living is high throughout Denmark, Copenhagen is in a league of its own. Ranked among the most expensive cities in the world, it presents a paradox, a place of opportunity and innovation, yet a financial challenge for many who call it home. Finding an apartment in Copenhagen is not just about having enough money, it's about navigating an increasingly competitive and sometimes ruthless rental market. Long wait lists for housing associations leave many stuck in overpriced sublets or temporary accommodations. Foreigners, students, and young professionals often find themselves sharing cramped apartments or spending an excessive portion of their income just to keep a roof over their heads. Denmark offers security, stability, and a high standard of living, but the question remains, at what cost? Some argue that the high taxes and expensive lifestyle are worth it for the peace of mind that comes with free healthcare, excellent education, and strong workers' rights. Others, however, see it as a financial burden that makes wealth accumulation difficult and limits personal financial freedom. For those who grew up in Denmark, the system feels natural. Taxes are simply the price of living in a society where no one is left behind. But for newcomers, the adjustment can be overwhelming. Many who move to Denmark for work opportunities find themselves questioning whether the high salaries truly compensate for the financial pressures of everyday life. Beyond the financial aspect, there's an emotional cost to living in Denmark. The long, dark winters already take a toll on mental well-being, and financial stress can amplify feelings of isolation and burnout. The pressure to keep up with expenses, combined with the reality that even a good salary doesn't stretch as far as one might hope, can make life in Denmark feel more like a struggle than the fairy tale it's often portrayed to be. Expats and students in particular face challenges adjusting to the cost of living. Many arrive with savings only to see them quickly depleted. The necessity of taking on multiple jobs or seeking financial support from family members back home is not uncommon. Even Danes themselves are not immune to these struggles. Many young professionals delay milestones such as homeownership, marriage, and starting a family simply because the financial burden is too great. The cost of living in Denmark continues to rise, and while wages have increased, they have not always kept pace with inflation and rising expenses. Many are beginning to question whether Denmark's model is sustainable in the long run. Will wages continue to rise to offset the increasing expenses? Will the government find ways to alleviate some of the financial burdens without compromising the welfare system? At its core, Denmark remains an attractive place to live for those who value security, social benefits, and a balanced lifestyle. But it is not without sacrifices. The dream of living in Denmark is achievable, but it comes with a price tag that not everyone is willing or able to pay. So, the question lingers. Does the quality of life in Denmark justify its staggering costs? Is it a fair price for security and social welfare, or does it make life an endless struggle for financial survival? What do you think? Is it worth paying high taxes and living with steep expenses in exchange for social security and a high quality of life? Or does the financial burden overshadow the benefits, making Denmark a place where only the wealthy can truly thrive? We hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us bring you more amazing content. Join us here at Denmark Explained, where we uncover the wonders of Danish culture, one story at a time. See you in the next video.